Welcome to Mastermind with me, John Humphrys. In the spotlight tonight, Anna Britton, a magazine editor whose specialist subject is the life and films of Ingrid Bergman. Nathan Eaton, a marketing manager who'll be answering questions on the members and music of Manic Street Preachers. Michael Hanavan, an aircraft engineer whose subject is the Cunard shipping line. And Fiona Harris, a retired training manager whose specialist subject is Strictly Come Dancing. Each one of those four hopes to get through to the semi-final and then the grand final when they will be within touching distance of the glass bowl that goes with becoming the nation's mastermind. Standing in their way, two sets of questions, one on their specialist subject, one on general knowledge. 2 minutes on the first, 2.5 on the second. So let's ask our first contender to join us, please. And your name is?
Anna Britton.
Your occupation?
Magazine editor.
And your specialist subject?
The life and films of Ingrid Bergman.
The Oscar-winning Swedish actress. In 2 minutes, here we go. A 1942 film starring Bergman was loosely based on an unproduced play by Murray Burnett and Joan Allison entitled Everybody Comes to Rick's. What film?
Casablanca.
Yep. Which 36th Swedish film was remade in America in 1939 with the subtitle A Love Story? Bergman reprised her role as Anita Hoffman in the film.
Intermezzo.
Yeah. Bergman kept a journal for many years. Entries often began with the words, Dear what?
Diary.
Book. In the 1978 film Autumn Sonata, the character Charlotte, played by Bergman, has forged a successful career as an accomplished performer on which musical instrument?
Piano.
Yep. Bergman made 3 films with Alfred Hitchcock. They were Spellbound in 1945, Notorious in 46, and what 1949 film?
Under Capricorn.
Correct. In a letter written in the late 1940s to the Italian director Roberto Rossellini to express her admiration for his work, Bergman says that she knows only 2 words in Italian. What 2 words?
Ti amo.
Yes. Bergman won a Best Actress Oscar for her role in the 1956 film Anastasia, but she didn't attend the ceremony the following year. Who collected the award on her behalf?
Cary Grant.
Yes. In the 1958 romantic comedy Indiscreet, Bergman plays a theatre actress who falls for a financier played by Cary Grant. Talking about Grant's character, she speaks the much-quoted line, "How dare he make love to me and not be a... what?"
Married man.
Yes. What is the first name of the character played by Bergman in the 1974 film Murder on the Orient Express? She won her 3rd Oscar for the role.
Greta.
Yes. Bergman played the barmaid Ivy Peterson in the 1941 film Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, after she'd turned down the role of Jekyll's fiancée, Beatrix Emery. Which actress did play Beatrix?
Lana Turner.
Yes. What was the name of Bergman's agent and friend about whom Bergman said in her autobiography, I adored her from the time she came to Sweden?
Kay Brown.
Correct. What is the title of the first film Bergman made with Roberto Rossellini?
Stromboli.
Yep. And we're out of time. No passes, Anna? 11 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Nathan Eaton.
Your occupation?
Marketing manager.
And your specialist subject?
The members and music of the Manic Street Preachers.
The Welsh rock band who achieved great success. In 2 minutes, starting now. The band's bass player and lyricist performs under the stage name Nicky Wire. What's his real surname?
Jones.
Yep. Which was the first Manic Street Preachers studio album to feature all 3 of the band's modern incarnation of Bradfield, Moore and Wire on the front cover?
Everything Must Go.
Yes. The 2017 documentary, directed by Kieran Evans, tells the story of the creation of the album Everything Must Go after the disappearance of band members Richie Edwards. What's the title of the documentary?
Escape from History.
Correct. The band played their first public gig supporting the group Funeral in Berlin. At which pub venue in Crumlin, South Wales, was the gig held?
Crumlin Railway Tavern.
Yes, the Railway. Which music journalist and member of the indie pop group Saint Etienne was an early supporter of the Manics and released their limited edition single Feminine is Beautiful on his record label Cath?
Bob Stanley.
Yep. A sample from a track by the American hip-hop group Public Enemy features at the opening of both of the Manic Street Preachers songs, Motown Junk and Repeat UK. Which track?
Pass.
The video for the single Motorcycle Emptiness was filmed in which Asian country?
Japan.
Yes. What name did the band give to the Cardiff recording studio that was their base for around a decade until they had to leave it in 2016? It's also the title of a Manic's UK Top 20 single.
Faster studio.
Yes. Which single was the band's first release on Columbia Records? It reached number 40 in the UK singles chart in August 1991.
Stay Beautiful.
Correct. Members of the band co-wrote 2 songs on Kylie Minogue's 1997 album, Impossible Princess. One is called Some Kind of Bliss. What is the title of the other?
Pass.
What is the stage name of Catherine Ann Davis, the Welsh singer and musician, who performs on the song Dylan and Caitlin from the 2018 album Resistance is Futile?
The Anchoress.
Correct. The opening line of a 1996 Manic song was inspired by a stone engraving above the doors of the former Pitt Gwentley Public Library in Newport. Which song?
A Design for Life.
Is correct. You had 2 passes, Nathan. One of the songs they wrote for Kylie Minogue was called Some Kind of Bliss. The other was I Don't Need Anyone. And a sample from a track by the American hip-hop group Public Enemy. That track was Countdown to Armageddon. You have, Nathan, 10 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Michael Hanavan,
Your occupation?
aircraft engineer,
And your chosen subject?
the Cunard shipping line.
Company whose passenger liners have sailed the Atlantic for more than a century. 2 minutes, here we go. Which Cunard ship helped to rescue the survivors from the stricken Titanic in 1912 and landed them in New York?
Carpathia.
Yep. The 2 latest Cunard queens, Victoria and Elizabeth, made their maiden voyages in 2007 and 2010, respectively. They were both built in which European country?
Italy.
Yes, the Cunard line was named after Samuel Cunard. He was born and brought up in which Canadian city?
Halifax.
Yep. Cunard had 4 new ships built in Glasgow in 1840 to launch their regular transatlantic service. Which of these 4 was the first to cross the Atlantic from Liverpool in July 1840 with Samuel Cunard on board?
The Britannia.
Yes. In which city's harbour did the Britannia become icebound in February 1844? The citizens were so pleased with the increased trade that the Cunard ships had brought to their city that they dug a 7-mile channel through the ice to the open sea with no charge to Cunard.
Boston.
Yes. From which rival line did Cunard buy the ship Oregon? In 1884, she gained the blue ribbon for the fastest Atlantic crossing.
Guion.
Yep. In 1934, Cunard formed a strategic alliance with another major passenger shipping line. Which one?
White Star Line.
Yeah. Who was the captain of the Lusitania when she was torpedoed by a U-boat in May 1915? He survived the sinking, and there were Admiralty efforts to blame him for the loss of the ship, but Cunard vindicated him and later promoted him to Fleet Commodore.
William Turner.
Yes, the Cunard luxury liner Berengaria, named after the wife of Richard the Lionheart, came into Cunard ownership in 1919 as part of war reparations. What was the ship's name when it was a German liner?
The Imperator.
Yep. Which Cunard liner built on the River Tyne embarked on her maiden voyage in 1907? It later held the Atlantic Blue Ribbon for 20 years.
The Mauritania.
Correct. Who was the chairman of the Cunard Steamship Company between 1965 and 71? He oversaw the construction of the QE2 and her introduction into operational service.
Sir Basil Smallpiece.
Yes. In 1987, a major refit of the QE2 was completed at the shipyard of which German city? It included the replacement of the ship's steam turbines with diesel engines.
Hamburg.
Bremerhaven. That's a shame because you got them all right until then. You have, however, 11 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Fiona Harris.
Your occupation?
Retired training manager.
And your specialist subject?
Strictly Come Dancing, 2004 to 2018.
Yeah, we've heard of that. Strictly Come Dancing. 2 minutes starting now. The former winner, Alicia Dixon, joined the judging panel in 2009. Who did she succeed as a judge?
Arlene Phillips.
Yep. After the closure of BBC Television Centre for redevelopment in 2013, which studios in Hertfordshire became the new home of Strictly?
Elstree.
Yep, in 2018, a technical problem with the scoring saw the judges struggle to reveal their points for a group dance in which all the competitors had taken part. Which dance had they been performing?
The Swingathon.
the Lindy Hop. Harry Judd won the 2011 series when he was partnered by Aliona Villani. Who was his partner when he won the Christmas special in 2015?
Christina Rianoff.
Joanne Clifton. In 2004, BBC News presenter joined Bruce Forsyth as the co-host of the programme, while Tess Daly was on maternity leave. Who was she?
Natasha Kaplinsky.
Correct. Which professional dancer left the show in 2018 after 15 series? He won the first contest as the partner of Natasha Kaplinsky.
Brendan Cole.
Yep. A song that's been a UK hit for Jeff Beck on a number of occasions was used by Stacey Dooley and Kevin Clifton as the music for their Foxtrot in the 2018 final. Which song?
Pass.
Which actor won the 2008 contest with his partner, Camilla Dellera? The judges scored him the lowest of the three finalists, but he finished top after the public vote.
Tom Chambers.
Yes. In 2004, Quentin Wilson and Hazel Newbury set a record low score for the contest when they earned only 8 points from the judges. Which dance were they performing?
Cha-cha-cha.
Yes. Since 2006, which musician and composer had been the programme's musical director and leader of the resident band?
Dave Arch.
Yep. Who was the first contestant to be eliminated in the 2013 series? Bruno Tonioli likened his performance in the waltz to that of a Galapagos tortoise.
Pass.
Which broadcaster has become known as the voice of Strictly? He's provided the voiceover introductions for the programme for many years.
Alan Dedicoat.
Yep. The police song Roxanne has been used on the show on a number of occasions, including by Denise Van Outen and James Jordan in 2012, and by Graham Swan and Oti Mabuse in 2018. Which dance did both pairs perform to the music?
Tango.
Is correct. You had 2 passes, Fiona. Tony Jacklin was the first contestant to be eliminated in that 2013 series, the one who danced like a tortoise, apparently. And the song that was a big hit for Jeff Beck and was used by Stacey Dooley and Kevin Clifton was Hi Ho Silver Lining. You have, though, 9 points.
Thank you.
Well, some very high scoring in that round of specialist subjects. Let's have a look at all of the scores. In 4th place with 9 points, Fiona. 3rd place with 10 points, Nathan. Joint 1st place, 11 points apiece, Anna and Michael. So it is the general knowledge round now, and if there's a tie at the end of it, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, there has to be a tie break. So let's ask Fiona to join us again, please. And you start out with 9 points, Fiona, so plenty of time to catch the others. You will have 2.5 minutes in which to do it. Here we go. In 2005, John Sentamu succeeded David Hope as Archbishop of
Canterbury.
York. What is the term used in broadcasting for the time in the evening, usually considered to be 9 o'clock, before which all television programmes shown are deemed suitable for children?
Watershed.
Yes, Florence is the capital of one of the 20 administrative regions of Italy. Which region?
Tuscany.
Yes. At what annual rowing event do participants compete for trophies called the Princess Grace Challenge Cup, the Grand Challenge Cup and the Queen Mother Challenge Cup?
But annual boat race.
No, Henley Royal Regatta. What name for a greenish-blue colour is taken directly from the French word for Turkish?
Aquamarine.
Turquoise. The works of which writer include My Uncle Silas, a semi-autobiographical set of short stories about a roguish countryman. It was adapted for a television series with Albert Finney in the title role.
Pass.
Princess Aurora is the name of the title character of which ballet by Tchaikovsky?
Sleeping Beauty.
Yes. What general term for a fleshy stone fruit, such as a plum or a cherry, comes from a Latin word for an overripe olive?
Pass.
What canine-sounding term came into use among RAF fighter pilots to refer to an aerial battle at close quarters?
Dogtooth.
Dogfight. Which Baptist minister and cabinet maker who was born in Stockton-on-Tees in 1751 gave his name to a style of furniture that became popular in Britain and America, although no item made by him has been conclusively identified?
Shaker.
Sheraton. The children's television presenting duo Richard McCourt and Dominic Wood are better known by what collective name?
Ant and Dec.
Dick and Dom. Which pioneering composer of electronic music, born in Germany in 1928, is depicted on the cover of the Beatles' album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band?
Pass.
The ruins of Kirkstall Abbey, a 12th century Cistercian monastery, stand just a few miles northwest of the centre of which city in northern England?
Newcastle.
Leeds. What word for a small bomb is now used in an expression taken from Shakespeare's Hamlet for becoming the victim of one's own schemes?
Pass.
Leo Varadkar was elected as the Prime Minister of which country in 2017?
Poland.
Ireland. Which British comedian gave several multilingual performances of his stand-up show Force Majeure in the UK in 2016? During each show, he performed for an hour each in German, French and English, respectively.
Pass.
The theme song to the 1982 television series Harry's Game reached number 5 in the UK singles chart. It was sung in Gaelic by which group?
Cause?
No, Cunard. You had 5 passes altogether. Eddie Izzard was that comedian who did all those languages, yeah. That word for a small bomb, a petard. Hoist by your own petard, I suppose. Yeah, Stockhausen was the composer, born in Germany in 1928. Droop is the term for a fleshy stone fruit, and H.E. Bates wrote My Uncle Silas and all the rest of it. You have, Fiona, now a total of 12 points.
Thank you.
And now Nathan again, please. And you start out, Nathan, with 10 points. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. Here we go. 2.5 minutes. On the long-running children's television programme Blue Peter, the pets named Petra, Goldie and Mabel are all species of what?
Dog.
Yep. What 2-word instruction appears on the triangular UK road sign, which is the equivalent of American road signs that bear the word yield?
Give way.
Yes. Which 15th century English king founded Eton College and King's College, Cambridge?
Henry V.
Henry VI. Which internationally renowned operatic tenor was born in Sants, a working-class district of Barcelona, in December 1946?
Placido Domingo.
No, Carreras. What common name that indicates their continent of origin is given to plants of the genus St. Paulia? They have purple or pink flowers and are popular as houseplants.
Asiatic.
African violet. The adjective hepatic means relating to which organ of the human body?
Liver.
Yes. The Scottish physicist Robert Watson Watt was knighted in 1942 after he worked on the development of technology that is said to have aided victory in the Battle of Britain. The technology became known by what 5-letter acronym?
Radar.
Yes. Which valley in Northamptonshire is lightheartedly regarded as an unofficial border between northern and southern England? It shares its name with a motorway service station on the M1.
Watford Gap.
Yep. What name of French origin is given to a jeweller's or watchmaker's magnifying glass, usually worn in the eye socket?
Pass.
The annual charitable payment known as zakat is a basic principle of which religion?
Judaism.
Islam. The 6th century Bamyan Buddhas, giant figures sculpted out of a rock face that were destroyed in 2001, were in which Asian country?
Thailand.
Afghanistan. Which singer's first solo album, These Foolish Things, released in 1973, was a collection of cover versions of his favourite songs?
James Taylor.
Brian Ferry. The actor Ken Kercheval, who died in April 2019, was best known for his role as which character in the soap opera Dallas?
J.R. Ewing.
Cliff Barnes. Between 1795 and 1803, the Royal Navy navigator Matthew Flinders charted the coastline of which Southern Hemisphere country?
Argentina.
Australia. Which song was the national anthem of the Soviet Union until 1944? It's become a standard of the worldwide socialist movement.
The Internationale.
Yes, the Evian Agreement of 1962 led to the independence of which North African country from French rule?
Morocco.
Algeria. At which English seaport are the defensive fortifications known as the Western Heights? They were extended to protect the country from an expected invasion by Napoleon Bonaparte.
Dover.
Yes. Which character in the Star Wars series of films, a small and wise Jedi Master with green skin, has been voiced by Frank Oz in most of his appearances?
Yoda.
Yoda is correct. You had 1 pass, Nathan. That magnifying glass used by watchmakers and the like, it's called a loupe. You have now 18 points. And now Anna again, please. And Anna, you start out with 11 points, 18 the score to beat. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. 2.5 minutes, starting now. Which compass point is directly opposite northwest?
Southeast.
Yes, the first published novel by William Golding describes the descent into savagery of a group of schoolboys stranded on an uninhabited island. Which novel?
Lord of the Flies.
Yes, which British filmmaker directed the films Bugsy Malone, Fame and The Commitments?
Alan Parker.
Yes, in the Carnival of the Animals by Saint-Saëns, one of the animals is represented by a double bass. Which animal?
Elephant.
Yep. In which North African country is the site of the ancient city of Carthage, now a residential suburb of the country's capital?
Egypt.
Tunisia. Which comic dramatist of ancient Greece coined the term cloud cuckoo land? It was originally used to describe an imaginary city built in the air.
Socrates.
Aristophanes. Which American magician and endurance performer was suspended in a perspex case above the River Thames for 44 days in 2003? The stunt was entitled Above the Below.
David Blaine.
Yes. Skipjack and albacore, a species of which commercially important fish?
Tuna.
Yes. Which American artist was born in Pennsylvania in 1955 and came to prominence in the 1980s? His early works include vacuum cleaners encased in perspex and basketballs suspended in fluid.
Jasper Johns.
Jeff Koons. Which alcoholic spirit is an essential ingredient of a Cuba Libre cocktail?
Rum.
Yes. What term is used in golf for a score of 2 under par at a particular hole?
Birdie.
Eagle. Which American circus impresario went into partnership with P.T. Barnum and James L. Hutchinson in 1881? He went on to take sole ownership of the greatest show on earth after Barnum's death in 1891.
Pass.
According to Christian belief, what was the occupation of Joseph, the husband of the Virgin Mary?
Carpenter.
Correct. On which island of the Inner Hebrides is there a range of jagged mountains known as the Black Coolin and a more rounded range known as the Red Coolin?
Pass.
Which form of Chinese is the predominant language spoken in Hong Kong?
Cantonese.
Yes, the word numismatist can refer to a person who studies or collects medals or banknotes, but more usually a term for a collector of which other items?
Coins.
Yes. Which European country has the International Vehicle Registration Code CH? It's derived from the country's former Latin name.
Pass.
What American science fiction television series, first shown in the 1950s, was revived for the third time in 2019 with Jordan Peele as the narrator?
Star Trek.
Twilight Zone. What is the common name of the gas ethine, which is used in welding and the cutting of metals and has the formula C2H2?
Carbon hydroxide.
No, acetylene is the answer. 3 passes. That European country with CH as its registration code is Switzerland. Skye is where the Coolin Mountains are. And James A. Bailey was the great circus impresario. You have now, Anna, a total of 21 points. And finally, Michael again, please. And you start out with 11 points, Michael. The score to beat, as you have just heard, is 21. Let's see if you can do it and get through to the semi-final. Here we go. In the traditional nursery rhyme, Hey Diddle Diddle, the cow jumps over what celestial body?
The moon.
Yep. Which Olympic sport takes place in a venue called a velodrome?
Cycling.
Yes. What salad ingredient has varieties called Ailsa Craig, a moneymaker, and Sungold?
Lettuce.
Tomato. Potassium nitrate is a compound used in the manufacture of gunpowder and is sometimes known as niter. What is its other common name?
Pass.
Which major American city has a name that comes from Greek words for love and brother? Its nickname is the City of Brotherly Love.
San Francisco.
Philadelphia. What was the surname of the siblings Edith Osbert and Sacheverell, who were all prominent literary figures in the UK in the 20th century?
Bronte.
Sitwell. What name is given to the force that acts upwards on the wings of an aircraft during flight, counteracting the weight of the aircraft?
Upthrust.
Lift. The mouflon is the wild ancestor of which domesticated animal?
A cat.
Sheep. What name is given to the art of gluing paper cutouts onto a surface, such as wood or metal, which makes it appear as though the surface has been painted? It's a French word that means cutting out.
A mosaic.
Découpage. Which range of hills extends about 12 miles from Taunton to the Bristol Channel? The highest point is at Will's Neck.
Cotswold.
The Quantux. What new name was adopted in 2019 by the former Yugoslav Republic that has land borders with Serbia, Kosovo, Greece, Albania and Bulgaria?
Moldova.
North Macedonia. In cricket, what name of Australian origin is given to the verbal abuse of opponents in order to distract them?
Pass.
Noma topped the annual list of the world's 50 best restaurants 3 years in succession, from 2010 to 2012, then again in 2014. In which European capital city is it?
Budapest.
Copenhagen. Which composer was nominated for an Oscar for the musical score for the 1963 film The Pink Panther?
Henry Mancini.
Yes. In maths, the statement e to the power of I pi plus 1 equals 0 is named after which Swiss mathematician?
Clive Hammond.
Euler. The Norwegian painter Edvard Munch produced 4 versions of his most celebrated painting, the first 3 in the 1890s and the last in about 1910. Which painting?
The Scream.
Yes. Which athlete won a gold medal with a world record score in the women's pentathlon at the Munich Olympics in 1972? It was Britain's only Olympic gold in athletics that year.
Mary Peters.
Mary Peters is correct. You had 2 passes. Sledging is what they do in cricket if they're behaving badly. And the other common name for potassium nitrate is saltpeter. You have scored a total of 16 points. So let's have a look at all of those final scores. In 4th place with 12 points, Fiona. In 3rd place with 16 points, Michael. In 2nd place with 18 points, Nathan. 1st place with 21 points, Anna. Which means, of course, that Anna goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to her. And if you'd like to be a contender in the next series, do go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Do join us again next time for more Masterminds, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.
I applied for Mastermind because I've been shouting out answers to Mastermind, watching it on TV since I was a kid. And one day I just thought I should put my money where my mouth is and give it a go. When I first sat down in the famous black chair, all my nerves disappeared and I suddenly felt really calm. I chose Ingrid Bergman as my specialist subject because, as well as being a fantastic and really unusual actress, she had a fascinating personal life. It was just a really, really interesting person to research. Winning tonight, I did not expect this to happen at all. Being Mastermind champion, it's just I can't even imagine it. I can't conceive of it. It would be unbelievable.